I just had to look up on my phone what the name of the collection was because I actually never knew what the name of the collection was. And it's the Too Faced It Just Comes Naturally, the Ultimate Natural Beauty Collection. I purchased the 3 palettes and also 3 lipsticks and a bronzer. I purchased my items off of the Macy's website because they were having a 15% off coupon that was good on cosmetics, and I was like, absolutely. I'm wearing eyeshadows from both of the palettes. I'm wearing the face palette, and then I have one of the lipsticks on, and there will be a demo for this look that's on my face. It'll be towards the end of the video if you're interested in seeing how those products performed for me. I used the highlighters in the face palette for the first time today. I had swatched them, and they just didn't look like they would vibe with my skin tone, but today I was like, I'm gonna make myself just use everything in that face palette. And so I did, and the highlighter that I used pulls really, really gold. And before I had the rest of my makeup done, I was very tempted to just go over it with another highlighter and try to blend out that yellowness. But now that I have everything on, I think that it looks pretty. It is a pretty strong gold. It's definitely a deeper gold than the Anastasia Beverly Hills Resi highlighter, but it tied all together in the end. So I was very tempted, but I didn't do it. I'm still not nuts about the highlighters in the palette for a highlighter on my skin tone, but I have liked mixing them with the blush shades to get a more shiny blush. They do have like a duochrome factor to them. They're pretty products, but for like a lifting and sculpting on my face and like the tone of a highlighter that I like, they're a little bit too deep for me. I purchased one of the bronzers too. This is the Too Faced Sun Bunny bronzer. I actually have been through an entire Sun Bunny bronzer. I went through a whole pan maybe 5 years ago, and I did repurchase it, so I have one in my collection yet, but I really like the packaging of this whole collection, so I bought it in this one because I knew I would like it. I like the Chocolate Soleil ones. They're okay, but I'm not crazy about them. I like the Sun Bunny one out of their bronzer collection probably the most for me. So before I get up close and give some swatches and comparisons, I do have the older palettes, which I'll show side by side for you guys as well. I did get questions when I posted photos on Instagram of some of the palettes, whether or not the formula was the same or different, and the eye palettes is definitely different. Before I get into the formula too much, this is what the box packaging looks like. It's really unique, actually. I was surprised that it kind of looked like that. Each one of these has a little card with like their normal Too Faced demos that they put inside their palettes, but really pretty packaging. And I gotta say, the actual packaging of the palettes themselves are some of the nicest I think Too Faced has ever done. Very, very luxe feeling. It has a pretty nice weight to it. It just feels really expensive. The packaging on the natural face and the natural eyes is the same. It's got the same coloring and everything like that. And then the natural matte has a little bit deeper brown, and then the edges are a more matte finish as opposed to a shiny one. So I like that they kind of switched up the coloring from the palettes as well. I did kind of cross-reference the formulation in both the eye palettes and the face palettes. And all 3 of them, they've got perfume, so they definitely have like a sweet smell to them. I don't mind when they use like cocoa powder or vanilla in them, but when they have just an actual fragrance in the product, I'd like just rather not. And then also each one of these has got, there's I think 2 different derivatives of like a coconut oil in them. They have the vanilla in them, the perfume, and then they also have a form of dimethicone in them. The face palette has actual dimethicone in it, but the eye palettes have a methicone in there. So I'm not exactly crazy about the ingredient deck of these palettes, but I will say that the application on the face is really pretty. The products blend out really nice. They have great pigmentation. Again, the eyeshadow formula is definitely different from the older versions. They blend out really nice. I used to have a little bit of trouble blending Too Faced mattes. These blended out like awesome. The formula is thicker. It has a little bit more of a creamier, heavier texture to it, as opposed to having a little bit thinner, drier texture like the older formula. Again, I'm not exactly crazy about the ingredient deck, but they perform really well on the face. My skin doesn't do really great with coconut derivatives or coconut oil. It clogs my pores and I break out. Same with dimethicone. Dimethicone is such a nice ingredient though. Like, it gives such a nice slip to product. Like, putting it on, the finish of dimethicone on the skin is really pretty. But what it does to the actual skin, at least for me, is it clogs my pores up like no other. So I've been trying to steer clear of like base products that have a heavy concentration of like a dimethicone or silicones in them. When I was putting some of these on, like some of the powder did like get like on my lips and I could taste it, and it did have a sweet like taste to it. They have vanilla in them as well, so I don't know why they had to put perfume on top of coconut oil, because coconut oil smells good too. So the Sun Bunny bronzer does not have any of the ingredients that I just mentioned inside the formula. And then looking at the packaging of the lipsticks, there is Muru seed butter, coconut oil, Shea butter, vitamin E. I don't mind those ingredients so much. There's fragrance in these as well. But I don't mind those ingredients so much on my lips as I do my face. And I must say I really enjoy the sheen of the lipsticks, and they do feel really nice on the lips as well. I'm wearing the shade Send Nudes, which I feel pretty nude. I had to put on the green eyeliner today because otherwise I would have been just like nude, too nude for me. I like that the packaging kind of coordinates with the shade that's inside, so it's easier to see which is which. I really like that. So I've got Send Nudes, which is what I'm wearing on my lips today, which is a nude. And then Strip Search, which I've been wearing this one quite a bit. It's just a really pretty nude pink. And then this one is Birthday Suit, which is a little bit deeper, browner nude. I really do like all three of the shades that I got. When I first swatched this one, I was like, oh. And then when I first put it on, I was like, oh. I just had to find a lip liner that it looks good with. And then I'll give you a swatch of the Sun Bunny bronzer. Super cute packaging. This has got a shimmer to it, but I don't feel like it's overbearing. Now I'll go ahead and zoom up close and give you guys some swatches and comparisons of these palettes. So here is the Natural Face Palette. Again, the packaging is very pretty. It has a nice weight to it, and it feels expensive. It's very nice packaging. There's a little heart closure right there. Sometimes I do have a little bit of trouble getting grip to open it, but there's a good size mirror. It goes all the way back. There's 0.14 ounces per shade inside of here. The glare is kind of throwing off the focus on my camera, so hopefully it stays in focus. But the shade that I'm wearing today as a highlighter is this guy right here. And then for blush, I mixed these two. And then for bronzer, I use these two shades right here. I have mixed between these two shades and these two shades. This is supposed to be a blush, but it's got a nice, it's kind of got a bronzy rose undertone to it, so it gave a little bit more red to these two bronzers. These two shades right here are matte shades, and the blush, highlighters, and then the bronzer down here all have a shimmer to them. I'm trying to get my camera not to lose focus, but this is too deep for me as a highlighter. This is very, very gold. But let me give you some swatches. I think that this color right here would look really pretty on a deeper skin tone. The formula blends out really nice, but it is a thicker formula. Then we'll do these two blushes. I mixed these two shades as a blush today. I don't know if I said that already. And then I mixed these two shades as a bronzer. So. And then these bronze shades. This is quite warm, so I haven't worn that by itself. I've mixed it with one of the other two. My dad's outside moving snow, so that's the bobcat. Because it blizzarded yesterday. So there is the Natural Face Palette. This is a raised too, like it's a raised texture to the writing on the front. That lace detail, it's so pretty. Next up is the Natural Eyes eyeshadow palette. Again, the coloring of this one is the same as the face palette. The matte one is different, however. This top row is matte, and then this guy down here is also matte. So let's give you some swatches. I am wearing on my lid these three shades in the center. So you can see great pigmentation. And these guys. Definitely a thicker, more substantial formula than some shades of Too Faced Past. So you can see these are like the shimmer versions of the mattes. And then this last row. This shade right here and this shade right here both have micro glitters in them. But they don't, I feel like they held up really well. They didn't like fall over all over my face. So here is the palette next to the old Natural Eyes palette. Every shade name in these palettes is the same except for Nudie and Strip Poker have got different names, but there are some, the other shades are all named the same. Now here is the Natural Matte. Again, super pretty packaging. It looks almost metal, but it's a plastic. Again, with a nice weight, so you can see this is more of a brushed look to it as opposed to a shiny one. So every shade in here is matte, and I'm wearing these 3 shades on the bottom on my eye today with those 3 shimmer shades from the other shadow palette. We've got warm, kind of cool, and then neutral. Great variety in terms of depth, transition, and highlight. And the center row. And then the last row. So there's the Natural Matte eyeshadow palette. And then here is the older Natural Matte next to the newer one. Heaven and Lace Teddy are the 2 that have the same names in these 2 palettes. And then here are the 2 eyeshadow palettes next to each other. And both palettes contain the shade Heaven, which is that larger one on the top. In terms of product size, the smaller pans are 0.04 ounces and the larger ones are 0.07 ounces, which it's a pretty decent amount of product that you're getting in there. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. There's definitely not a lot of difference in terms of colors. We've all seen these colors from Too Faced a lot of times, but the difference is in the formula. This formula of eyeshadow, I feel, does blend and perform a lot better than Too Faced's older eyeshadow formula. I really like all the products that I purchased. I just hope that my skin likes them as well. So far, so good, but I'm a little nervous about consistent use with the face palette. It is something to make aware of too if you have like really oily eyelids, because there are oils in the eyeshadows as well as the face palette. Sun Bunny bronzer is a no-brainer for me. I've always loved this bronzer, and then the lipsticks, again, they feel really nice on the lipstick. For as glossy as they are too, I find that they wear for a decent amount of time before you have to reapply them, so that's quite nice. So now if you're interested in seeing the look that's on my face and how those products went on for me, you can hang tight and we'll get into it right now. So I'm going to take the Sonia G Sculpt 3 brush and I'm going to go into the shade Satin Sheets. So I'm just going to pick up some of that guy and put it on my cheekbones. But it pulls, as you can see there, it pulls pretty gold. Take a little bit down my nose. It's sweet tasting. Yeah, really strong gold undertone. Then taking a Sonia G Sculpt 1 brush, I'm going to go back and forth between Sunny Honey and Tropic Like It's Hot. These 2 right here. One's a matte, one's a shimmer. The Sunny Honey pulls really warm, and then the Tropic Like It Hot has shimmer with a little bit more of a red undertone, so I'm just going to go between the 2. And bronze contour. And grab a little bit for the forehead. That bronzer is picking up like really strongly in the viewfinder. It has a shimmer to it, so I'm assuming that's why, but it doesn't look as crazy in my mirror as it does in the viewfinder. Anyway, Sonia G Sculpt 2 brush, and then I'm going to go into Pink Wink and Starlight. I'm going to mix back and forth between these 2 shades for a blush. And that Pink Wink shade is pretty doggone pigmented. Then I'm going to take that fan brush. I'm not going to pick up any more product, but I'm going to make sure that these edges are blended really well. Then I'm going to take a Chikuhodo and Beautylish powder brush and go in with the Guerlain Meteorites. These are the Birthday Candle Pearls edition. I used up all of my ones that are in the permanent line in the shade Claire, and I need to repurchase. I've been waiting for the VIB sale. But I'm going to use these guys today. They don't have any more sparkle in them, so I feel like I don't need any more sparkle right now, which I don't say often, but anyway. I'm just going to buff these all over the face. Oh, ow. Pearl down, pearl down. I'm going to put on a little bit of lip oil. This is the e.l.f. Pink Kiss lip oil. Just so it's on there for when I'm doing my eyes. I've really been enjoying these. They have nice color to them for oil. Now I'm going to take the NYX eyeshadow base. I have two of the NYX eyeshadow base colors mixed together in here from the lash line to up underneath the brow bone. I think I have shade 01 and 03 mixed together. I'm just going to prime. I'm going to use the Natural Eyes eyeshadow palette. Today I'm going to use the shade Push Up, which is right here. I'm going to pack that guy on the lid. Bringing it up to, oh, I'm using a Sonia G Builder 2 brush. Using that same brush, I'm just going to flip it over. I'm going to go into a little bit of Silk Teddy and put that in front of Push Up. It's a really bright shade. Again, with the same brush, I'm going to go into the shade Erotica. It's quite the name. I'm going to put this out here and blend it into that other shade. Just a bit. I'm going to switch it up to the Natural Matte eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to use this bottom row for the most part. I'm going to go into the shade Hookup, and this is a Chikuhodo Just a 9 brush. I'm going to put that one through the crease. I just like the tones of these mattes a little better for what I have on the lid. Shadows are blending out super duper. Then using a Goss 18, this is the newer version, I'm going to go into the shade Au Natural, or Au Natural. Start blending this out. I must say, each time I've used these palettes, the mattes have blended out very nice. I'm going to grab that Chikuhodo brush and just blend here, not picking up any more product. Then I'm going to use the Isom G29 brush and go into Lace Teddy on the bottom and put that underneath the brow. And then I'm going to blend it through here. Then back in with the Goss 18 brush. I'm not picking up any more product, but I'm going to feather through here. I do have a little bit of fallout, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe that off. So there's the shadow done. Pretty natural for what I usually wear. I'm going to go ahead and finish up my eye makeup, and I'll be right back to put on some lips for you guys. I found my Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude. So I'm going to go ahead and line my lips with this guy here and kind of fill it in just a little bit. And then to fill them in, I'm going to use the shade Send Nudes. I was a little iffy about this one, but with the right lip liner, I can make her work. I'm going to just really blend it into that lip liner. So there is the overall finished look using the new Too Faced It Comes Naturally collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.